Hello and welcome to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I am back again with a post-game show, and it was a crazy game down there in San Francisco with the Warriors getting the job done against the Memphis Grizzlies, securing the 8th seed. What can I say about Steph Curry? Wardell Stephen Curry is still and always will be the greatest shooter of all time. I mean, make no mistake about it, this game did not disappoint whatsoever. It was a nationally televised game for all the marbles for the 8th seed. And before Dylan Brooks exited the game with getting fouled out the game, actually, I mean, he had Steph Curry, pretty much contained, but there is no stopping Steph Curry. And it just was, it's just a great thing to watch, from a basketball perspective to see what this man is doing. He played 40 minutes even, and they needed all his 40 minutes to get this job done because this Memphis Grizzlies team was very scrappy. I liked how the energy they had, but I feel like when Dylan Brooks exited the game, Dylan Brooks, they lost that energy. They lost the energy that he provided. So we're going to be tapping into the Golden State Warriors today, and be able to see if we can talk to either Coach Kerr or Steph Curry after such a great win tonight. This is the very first time that Out of Bounds is going to be covering this. And we got a very special guest on to the show today. My cousin, my boy, Chris Johnson, back on the show again. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I was able to get the Warriors. Remember when we talked about, I had reached out to them and I wasn't able to get on the stream with them. So what we're doing is I have the Zoom call in the background, and people are going to be able to see the Warriors on, and I'm going to try to see if I can talk to Coach Kerr and Steve Kerr and Steph Curry today during the post game. So I'm excited about that.
Let's see what we can do.
So also, with that being said, the playoff implications are almost set in. The Lakers are going to be able to play the Pelicans tonight, but it looks like they possibly going to be meeting up with the Golden State Warriors. And Steph, I mean, make no mistake about it, he's still that dude when it comes to scoring the basketball. Dylan Brooks did what he could today, but after he got in foul trouble, they couldn't do nothing with Steph. He was step back, he was catch and shoot. And what's so great about him is he don't have to have the ball in his hand like that. Like you see some guards that are great scorers and stuff like that, and they have to have the ball. Steph don't have to have the ball like that.
They deadly, man. So you really gotta watch them, man. Like I noticed, like when Dylan Brooks went up, like they was forgetting about Steph, but he was coming off the screen, they was running around. They was just pretty much let this dude run free. I was like, are y'all serious? Like this the deadliest person on the court. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you was looking at Steph to be exposed this year. You was looking for him to be exposed this year. Kind of struggling with the team and things like that. But Steph still can put the ball in the basket with the best of them at 33 years old. He did secure the scoring championship today. It's the second time in his career, and it was a great thing to watch. You missed this game, you definitely missed a treat. So with that
They
being
look good, man. Actually,
yeah, with that being said, what we're gonna do is go ahead and add them to the stream and see if we can head to the podium real quick. So we're still waiting. Hopefully, we can possibly get Coach Kerr up. I do have a prepared question to ask him if I'm able to get to it. But what do you like to see as a play-in is next week, Chris?
what do I like to see,
Yeah.
man? If I'm excited to see what Golden State gonna do, man. Like if they can actually put it together, because you got to think last year there was no Warriors. They missed the bubble. So this is kind of, even though they're whatever seed they are, even though they're kind of, they're forgotten about. It's interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, and with the Warriors, back relevant again, and Steph still putting up amazing numbers. This still. I mean, if you think about next year when they get Clay back, this team could possibly be in the top three, top four again.
Oh, easily, easily. With Clay and Wiseman coming back.
You remember the conversation that we had about Andrew Wiggins and how he played and things like that. I mean, like he never missed a game this year,
He hasn't.
and he was, he had the putback dunk and things like that. What do you think about his ceiling?
They're gonna need him. They're gonna need him in this little push that they're gonna go on. He's the second best player on the team, easily, in my opinion. So they're gonna need him.
Yeah,
Whatever Steph brings, he's gonna have to match that. If Steph is getting 30, he might need to pull out his 25 to 30. They're gonna need it every
absolutely,
night.
absolutely. They definitely going to need his production for sure. We also got the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't want to not talk about them. Um, I'm not sure. Are you following Memphis Grizzlies basketball?
A little bit, a little bit.
So what do you think about jamorant as a player, as an impact leader and things like that? What do you think about jamorant overall?
I see potential. I mean, he's young, man. What is this? His second year,
Yeah,
and he's still trying to figure it out. Like a lot of them guys, a lot of them dudes are young over there. They just got Jaren Jackson back. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they'll I think they'll go as Ja Morant goes. I mean, once he get more comfortable in his role, I think they'll be fine. He's gonna have to take some of those shots that they're giving him because they don't want him to drive. I mean, we obviously knows what he can do when he's driving and when he's been aggressive and attacking the rim and going to the paint. So I mean, he's gonna have to some of those shots he's gonna have to take.
what do you think about their chances as they have their own playing situation? They're going to be playing the San Antonio Spurs.
Man, coach, that's Coach Pop, man. San Antonio Spurs coach,
They missed the playoffs
Coach
as
Pop.
well.
Did they?
Yeah, last year.
Man,
They didn't. I don't think they. No. They went to the bubble, but I don't. They don't. They didn't play in the playoffs at all.
I think they played Portland last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
they went
then
to the
I
bubble,
think
but they got bounced pretty quick.
yeah. I think Portland did that when CJ McCollum went crazy in that last little few minutes. I think CJ and Dame. But man, that's gonna if they play the Spurs, man, it's gonna be a good series. But I think Pop gonna have the Spurs ready. They got a lot of veterans over there.
Well, we have the fortunate opportunity to be able to switch both streams. So once I do have the Memphis Grizzlies playing in the background on my phone. So whenever either team comes up to address the media, then we are going to be able to talk to either team, kind of see exactly what the energy is like going into the playing situation, going into the playoffs. Just talking about the future of both ball clubs. It does seem like both teams are going in the opposite direction. You look at the Warriors; they are established. They came out of the dynasty and things like that, and a lot of people didn't really see them, being relevant again. But with the resurgence of Steph Curry this year, and then with the addition of Klay Thompson potentially coming back next year, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Do you see them, being back relevant again? Do you feel like they can get back to the top?
For sure. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. You got Clay and Steph. I think Clay is the missing link to all this. I mean, they're well on machine, but you get Steph and Clay and Draymond. I mean, them dudes are hard to kill, man. Then you got emergence with Wiseman, and you keep Wiggins, and you get those bench guys more confident. I think they'll be good, man. They'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you are absolutely correct about Klay Thompson. Being that missing piece. I mean, you got him. You got Steph as the arguably greatest shooter of all time, and then you have Clay, which is arguably the greatest catch and shoot shooter of all time. I mean, it's like pick your poison with these two guys whenever you have them in your backcourt. And then you have Wiseman. You know, he's still kind of young and things like that, and raw. But what do you think about with the addition of him having Wiggins in there? Where can this team go with that group next year?
I think with them, I mean, with right now with no Clay and no Wiseman, they're an eighth seed. So I think they can next year. I think they can at least crack the top five. If not better. I mean, with Clay and Steph, and it's all about health and getting guys rest, and you want guys to be 100% for next year, so you don't want to risk. What I'm saying, nobody getting hurt with this playoff run. So hopefully, if everybody can come back healthy, man, I think with Steph, Clay, Dre, Wiggs, and Wiseman, this will be his second year, so he'll have more. Even though it was a short first year, so I mean, with the work he'll do in the summer, and he'll just have more knowledge of the game, especially after being able to watch from the sidelines and seeing everything unfold. I think he'll be a lot better. He'll have a better understanding, so that'll help them guys a lot. So I mean, they got a pretty solid group, man. So I think the Warriors will be fine. I mean, it's nothing to really. I mean, they don't have to really panic right now because they're really down two guys. You know what I'm saying? That they can really use like today. But I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. I feel like the Warriors shouldn't be, counted out whatsoever. They got a bad break with Clay not having him to start the season and him getting re-injured again, but they figured it out. They're back relevant again. They're not what they used to be, but I definitely would hate to meet with them in a play-in situation where it's only one game and you got to face Steph Curry. What do you think about that?
Man, that's a bad deal, bro. You got to face Steph Curry from one game. This dude can easily like hit 10 threes, go for 40 or 50. I mean, it's one game, so you got to leave it all out there. I hope whoever they play is just. I mean, you got guys that's prepared to chase and just make it tough on them, man. Don't let them, get no space. Just make it tough on them. If you got to double them to run them off certain stuff, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's just one game, so it's really just. I mean, watching that dude, you can't. I mean, I wouldn't care. I want 10 eyes on Steph Curry. Not just one guy. No one guy should be responsible for Steph Curry, as we saw with Memphis. He was just running free when Dylan Brooks left. So it was just like, I don't know. It's just like money signs in his eye, bro. He was so open. I was like, come on, this is the most dangerous guy on the planet, and y'all just letting him like, come on, man. It's like letting a little kid run free in the candy store. I mean, it was unreal, but I mean, we'll see what happens with this play, and I think it's going to be interesting.
I like the energy that Dylan Brooks did provide on him. I do feel like Dylan Brooks is the motor of this Memphis Grizzlies team. He's just just that energy guy, and he was take. That's why he got fouled out, because he was just the aggressor. And I did like his play on Steph Curry, because when he left the game was tied. It got out of hand when Dylan Brooks got fouled out. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like you said, Dylan Brooks was the aggressor. I think I saw Steph Curry was shooting 4 of 14, if I'm not mistaken, when Dylan Brooks was on. Then when Dylan Brooks left, it went from like 9 for 18. So Steph really, I mean, he hit that switch quick, like when Dylan Brooks like left. So I mean, Memphis never adjusted to, okay, if we got one of our best defenders coming out, who's going to be responsible for Steph? And it's just like they forgot all about him, and the game got out of hand. So I was just like, okay, here we go. Steph went down there. He shook one guy, hit a three, bottom. I was like, okay, he came off a screen of another. I'm like, he wide open. Like, what are y'all doing? So it was just, I don't know. I don't know if it's coaching or they just like forgot. I don't get it.
Now, I recently just started following this Memphis Grizzlies team, a little bit close, and I've seen a couple games where Dylan Brooks is, he's pretty decent. I think he plays the three, and he's pretty lengthy. I'd like how he play defense, and he can give you something on offense. Also, last game they played, they rested the starters, but they ended up still getting the win. But I just want to see exactly what they're going to look like when they play this San Antonio team, coming up next. The San Antonio has kind of struggled all year. They've been trying to, still figure it out. They've also been racked with COVID and things like that, COVID restrictions, guys in and out of lineup with injuries and stuff like that. But, I think the Spurs dynasty is kind of coming to a close. It's not, it doesn't have that luster on it like it used to, and I'm not sure exactly what they're missing, but they just don't have an identity right now. I mean, normally you think about the Spurs, you think about those 5 championships, those Tim Duncan led teams, those your David Robinson teams and things like that. Coach Pop is still doing it, at this stage in the game. But I feel like right now it's just the game has evolved so much that the Spurs were kind of like left in an era.
I mean, I just think the game has evolved like crazy. Like in the past 5-6 years, I mean, these dudes are shooting from the locker room.
Name and affiliation of the beat writers first, please.
I got Coach Kerr coming up, so we're gonna go to that.
Steve, what did you think of Steph Curry's performance with 46 points in 40 minutes, but also his volume of shooting tonight? He attempted 36 field goals and 22 threes.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. We need to get him to be more aggressive next game. I don't know what else to say about Steph. We've been through this all year. Just from one game to the next, it's very difficult to express just how good he is. What an amazing teammate he is, and everything that he brings to the table, the leadership, the example that he sets every day, and then of course the brilliant shot making. So it's a great response to Memphis's fourth quarter run, and it was a fun one to finish out, and now we gotta get back to work pretty soon.
Steve, you've been around it for so long. Do you think, top to bottom, especially now the regular season's over and he won the scoring title, that this is his best season that we've seen to date?
Well, he's never been better. I can say that. He's been great for a long time, though, so it's hard to say he's at his best now because he's been like this for years. I think what's different this year is just the supporting cast is different. We've got a much younger team. He's been asked to do a lot more with this group, and he's gone above and beyond what we've asked of him. So just incredible season, and I'll just leave it at that. He's never been better than he is right now.
Did the game shift when Brooks fouled out with about 6:32 left, and what changed for you guys after that?
Yeah, I thought that was a big play. Brooks was all over Steph all game, did a really good job just staying physical with him. And that was a big play. But, all these games have swings in them. And, we knew we would respond to their run. And we did a good job of that. We got several stops in a row, kind of, at that 3 or 4 minute mark. And we're able to capitalize offensively with Steph's threes.
Hey, Coach. Corey from the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. Hope all is well. With the season coming to a close, coming to an end with the highs and lows, Steph showing that he still can do it at a high level. From a coaching standpoint, how did you manage all the schedule being condensed, the injuries and COVID restrictions?
Well, it's really the whole organization has just had to endure this season, just like every organization and really every group of people out there during this pandemic. The only way you can get through it is to, lean on each other and put the work in every day. So I'm really proud of not only the team, but the whole organization. It's been tough playing most of the year without fans, obviously taking huge financial losses. And it's been great the last few games to see and to feel more and more fans in our building. So hopefully that continues and we can, move through this pandemic over the next few months and get back to a normal regular season next year. But just very proud of not only the team, as I said, but the whole organization.
Steve, you go 40 minutes with Steph today. Was that mostly planned? Was that feel and Is it possible that that's the way you're going to go maybe for the next couple of games at least?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's an option now. I mean, in the regular season, it's not an option, as I made clear at midseason, somewhat controversially. But it's an option now because we're in the thick of it, and every game is crucial, and that's about the limit. I would hesitate to play him much more than that. He has so much on his shoulders, and it's not easy playing for 40 minutes the way he plays, especially.
Steve, he's the oldest scoring champion since Jordan was 35 when he did it in 1998. I mean, what does that say about Steph's longevity as well? I mean, you said he's never been better, but still, he's 33. Yeah, he's I was saying earlier, everything that he means to the team and the way he conducts himself, that includes taking care of his body, coming in to get treatment every single day and get into the weight room and get his work in, get on the floor, get his skill work in. He's a machine. I think he's one of those guys who is in love with the process. He loves what he does. And it reminds me, I'm a big sports fan. We met Roger Federer a few years ago when we were in China. We asked him the secret to his success, and he said, "I just love my routine." And that's what I see with Steph. He loves his life. He loves his family. He loves his routine. He loves the work. And that allows him to not only stay physically fit, but also emotionally well prepared for every season, every game.
Coach, what was the mood like in the locker room after, and what do you think of the younger guys that haven't been through these games like this?
Yeah, it was a great experience for us, and we're going to be feeling more of this, as we go. But really fun locker room. We had Rick Welts in the locker room. We gave him the game ball, which was really fun. Rick has meant so much to this organization. I know we honored him several times during the game, but it was really nice for us to bring him into the locker room, give him the game ball, and thank him for everything he's done for this franchise. You guys know this, but when Rick came in a decade ago, this franchise had a lot of work to do, and Rick has really helped lay an amazing foundation that has allowed the basketball team to flourish and thrive. So it's great to have Rick in the locker room with us.
Hey, Coach, what Jordan took some big shots and some big moments, and he looked like the same Jordan you see all the time. How impressive is that from your perspective for a guy who hadn't been in a game that big?
Really fun to see Jordan and his evolution, just his confidence. He obviously made some big shots. He had to dig in defensively at the other end. And to think where Jordan was a year ago to now, it's a great reminder that work matters. Jordan, from the first day we were allowed back in the gym during the pandemic, nobody has been in here more than Jordan, just working on his game day in, day out. And you see the confidence that he has now. It's a result of all that work and just continuing to grow and learn and put the time in.
Steve, along those lines, Jordan hit the baseline. Along those lines, Jordan hits that baseline three to put you guys ahead, and then the next time down, Andrew dunks off of Steph Smith's three. How important was that little sequence right there, momentum-wise?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of important sequences. That was definitely one of them. I thought Jordan had some big shots, and Wiggs again will be the unsung hero, but that was a huge putback dunk that gave us a lot of energy and gave us some momentum. Go ahead, Monty.
You finished the season 6-0. I'm wondering what, from your point of view, what were the crucial elements to finishing the season the way you did?
Well, you guys laughed at me. I kept telling you over, the last 6 weeks that we were going to go on a run. So I had to get that in there, Monty. Sorry. But we could feel our team improving and coming together, a couple months back. And we knew that the schedule started to shift and favor us. We had some really difficult stretches like everybody does every year. But we just felt like if we could, hang in there that these last 20 games would be a chance for us to make a real push. So I'm happy that I was right. We've gotten on a good run, playing at a high level, and the guys are having a lot of fun. So it's good stuff.
Hey, Coach,
Steve, given the possibility of facing the Lakers, what makes the rivalry with Steph and LeBron so unique, and what are kind of the moments that stick with you with all the history they've had?
Well, you're talking about two of the greatest players of all time. So, both guys are still playing at such an elite level. And of course, four meetings in the finals is going to create, a rivalry. But there's obviously tremendous mutual respect between the two of them. And, we'll see what happens. We don't know yet, obviously, who we're going to play. But we're excited that we have an opportunity to keep playing.
Hey, Coach, William Hammers of Sports Fan Trap. What's the mindset going in the preparation for this playoff, and how different is it from playoff in the past?
Well, the mindset actually already started. We felt like today was our first playoff game. We treated it as such, and we said, going into this game, we told the guys we got to win. We got to find a way to win 2 of our next 3, and so that's the focus. So we will now lock in on our next opponent and really try to prepare well, put together a good game plan, and see what happens next.
Draymond was flirting with a triple-double yet again tonight. How much was that version of playoff Draymond that we see emerge at this time of year?
Yeah, Draymond was phenomenal at both ends. The dribble handoff game and the screening for Steph opened up Steph's three-point game, and then the defense at the other end was just amazing. And I think Draymond has had just a fantastic season. It started slowly for him because of the COVID protocols, and he had some tough breaks go his way health-wise. But over the last 2 months, he's looked like the Draymond we've all known and loved over the years. So phenomenal season for Draymond, and great to see him in playoff mode, because that's when he's at his best.
Steve, you mentioned Steph taking on a different role just because of the supporting cast that he's had this season, and he's kind of done the opposite as well when KD was on this team and Clay was healthy. Does that set him apart from other stars around the league, just being so fluid with whatever this team needs?
Yeah, I mean, that's who Steph is. No matter who's around him, what the circumstances are, he's going to bring his best every day, and he sets an example that everybody else follows. And it's remarkable to see him. His humility combined with his confidence allows him to just be so even-keeled, and nothing seems to bother him. He's just got amazing self-confidence and belief, and yet humility, as I mentioned, and the ability to understand what other people need in order for the team to be as strong as possible. So he's an amazing guy to coach.
Steve, you talked about Jordan Poole and being patient with him throughout his rookie season and how good he's been so far. How patient should you expect to be when you're fighting for titles? How patient should you be with rookies when you are trying to push for a postseason? How patient do you have to be?
Well, I mean, it's that's coaching. Every year is different, and you're always going to have a wide variety of players in terms of their circumstances, where they are in their careers. So when you get a young guy, you've got to do your best to give him confidence, but stay on him, and that's what coaching's about. And so we've tried to do that with Jordan, with the whole staff, and guys have done a really good job just working with him and keeping him on the rise. I think he's had a really good trajectory in the early part of his career, and he's going to keep going up. So it's exciting.
Is that a hard balance to have when you are doing that, though? When you are trying to get them?
I mean, there's growing pains when you're coaching young guys, because they're going to make mistakes, and you got to figure out how much to live with and how much to allow. Joe, last one for me. I got to go here, but Joe Varden, go ahead.
Hi. with the 7th seed still being open, do you have an expectation on how tonight's going to go, and how are you going to handle it in terms of which game to watch?
I'll be flipping around. So, it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of musical chairs going on. It'll be interesting to see how teams handle their own circumstances, if they can dictate, who they play, all that stuff. So I'll have my clicker in one hand and cold beer in the other. You guys have a good day.
All right, we'll have some players up here shortly.
All right, so that was Coach Steve Kerr. What are your thoughts on some of the things that he said?
I mean, it's pretty clear, man. Like you said, he got a lot of young guys, and he's kind of grooming them, So I mean, that's gonna actually be big for them young guys coming up when they, get to the play-in. If the Warriors go farther, that's gonna be big because next year when you get back, Clay and Wiseman, and you're mixing that experience with the knowledge that they gained from this previous season, I think they can be fairly successful when they, everybody gets together and they build even more chemistry along with the young guys and the experience that they're going to get from this play-in. I mean, I think, Kerr is right on the money.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. We're going to shift gears for a little bit. The Grizzlies are up right now, so while the Warriors are still waiting on the next player, we're going to go ahead and add them to the stream. Dylan Brooks is already up, so we're going to go shift to that.
From this game and apply to the, hopefully one and maybe hopefully two more of these types of do or die games.
Just having composure. We found a way to come back into the game, and we got to find a way to close them out. But just bringing the energy, knowing that we got 2 games to get to the playoffs. Some that we had a goal at the beginning of the year to do, and it's right there, and not to keep your head down. Let it sting for a little bit today, and on the 19th, we got San Antonio, so it's not going to be no easy game. They're well coached. They got good players on there that follow the philosophy, and we just got to come out and play hard and be ready for 2 games.
Megan Triplett.
Hey, Dylan, 2 questions. I know the other night you said that all you wanted was for you guys to kind of come out here and leave it all out there on the court. Would you say walking off that court, you guys felt that you did that tonight? And then how important is it to have these next, 3 days off, something that you guys haven't had the chance and opportunity to practice throughout the regular season?
It's a good thing to have, I feel like guys bounce back a little bit better when they get a couple of days off. Just to work on their craft. But I feel like, we played hard. There's little things, little details that, we need to improve, rebounding. That's a big thing for us. They had a lot of offensive rebounds that turned into threes. But, everything else, we played hard and we played together, and, we did for 30 minutes of the game. We played, hard as hell. So.
Clayton Collier.
Dylan, obviously you brought a level of intensity you yourself throughout the entire game, but going into that fourth quarter down 17, to battle back and tie there, that 8-0 run out of the stretch, was there something that was said? Was there something you said to yourself that kind of, flipped that switch to kind of bring that run on?
I do this. It doesn't matter, whenever in the game, from struggling shooting, if I'm making all the shots, if I'm making the wrong plays, it's going to click during the game. And, I should have, not fouled because I feel like the outcome would have been different. But, I'll play as hard as I can and, leave the chips where they fall. But, yeah.
We got time for one more. We'll go to Evan Barnes.
Dylan, you guys have now had experience in these kind of games, whether it was Portland last year, this game now, even some of the bigger games this season. I mean, is there one thing maybe you guys can take from those kind of games that needs to be there on Wednesday now, where it is literally a win or the season's over mode?
Yeah, it's just little details. We know the philosophy of our group of how we're supposed to play, and then there's just the little things like rebounding, getting securing that possession and getting a good shot, and then just focusing on the game plan, be able to change on the fly, just those little things, and communication. That's where at the end of the game it fell apart. We were communicating. We weren't understanding what who was shooting the ball, who was scoring. So it's just little things, and we're a young team, and we're learning on the fly. We're learning with each other, and that shit takes time to understand. How to win. I only know a little bit about winning, but it's just trial and error, and we got 2 big games ahead of us.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks.
Did you test yet?
No.
Okay, it's down. If you go to the last.
I always like his mentality, his questions. They're always like so nonchalant, and he always had those different glasses on. But he's like, man, it's like whatever. But he go out there and play his ass off. Like, what do you think about Dylan Brooks and his comments tonight?
I mean, I love it, man. They're gonna need it. I mean, the whole team should hopefully have that mentality going forward. I mean, the dude played a good game defensively. I mean, your assignment is to guard Steph Curry and to limit him, which he did. I mean, 4 out of 10. I mean, 4 out of 14. I mean, come on. The dude did his job. He left everything on the line. So, but you can also hear the frustration in his voice.
Yeah, rightfully so. It's tough to lose that way, and then you're impacting the game when you're on the floor. The game is tied, and then you make a, I don't want to say it's a dumb foul because I'm not an NBA, but it was not he lacked discipline. I say that it lacked discipline. On the highest level with the 8th seed and hanging in the balance, and you're making an impact on arguably the greatest shooter of all time. The team definitely missed that production.
They did, and we saw the outcome. It went haywire. As soon as he hit the bench, the Warriors was like, okay, we got action, and they just used it and they roll with it.
Yeah, definitely. So what did you like from this game from both sides, and then what would you have liked to see? Like the build-up was phenomenal. Coming into this matchup, you got Ja, you got Steph. You're the basketball historian. I don't know. Have they ever played against each other yet? I've never seen Ja and Steph together yet. I know, like think about it. Like I don't remember seeing a game where Ja has played Steph. I think this is their first meeting.
I have no idea. I couldn't
You
even.
have to look it up.
I'll have to.
I think this is the first meeting. But what we do on the show, Chris, we look at the box score stats. And the box score stats, we're going to look at the Warriors first. Steph was on the floor 40 minutes. They needed all 40 minutes tonight from Steph to get this thing done. He had 46 points. He was the top dog when it came to that. Next, we had Andrew Wiggins in 37 minutes. He had 10 boards. I love glass eating. Every time I look on there and I see guys on the glass heavy, like you had Draymond, he had 9 boards. I love seeing activity on the boards because it shows that the team had effort. He also had chipped in with 21 points, talking about Andrew Wiggins. Then you had Draymond, the energy guy, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 14 points. That's good for him. And then the next one, you had Jordan Poole. In 25 minutes, he had 15 points. These guys are really, contributor as well. But Steph Curry just carried the team on his back today. And then you look at the Grizzlies side, Ja only had 16 points in 38 minutes. Jonas Valanciunas had 36. He was in 36 minutes. He had 29 points. That'll work for him because he's not really that type of person that you lean on for offense. But his work on the glass was phenomenal. He had 16 boards. Dylan Brooks had 18 points, but we kind of tip our hats to him for his phenomenal defense on Steph Curry, because like you said, like that assignment right there, you look on the stat sheet and you say, oh man, who my assignment? You say it was Steph Curry. Like, oh man, you already mentally out of it whenever you you look at the sheet and say that's your assignment. So what do you think about that?
I mean, man, that's a headache, man. I forgot what team it was, but I saw them actually when he crossed half court. I saw like 4 guys, like literally within like 4 or 5 feet of Steph Curry. Like I was like, really? Like I mean, that dude is. I mean, I can't say it enough. Like that's a guy you literally gotta chase. He's constantly moving. I mean, he's coming off screens, double screens, whatever. I mean, it's man, like, and then he still give you 46 points. Like, come on, that's deflating.
I'm hoping on today's show, with us doing the way we're doing, we get a chance to ask Steph a question. I don't know if you caught it, but I did get a chance to ask Steve Kerr a question, but I had to kind of jump in there because the way they have it structured is kind of weird. Oh, we got Ja, bro. Hello, Ja. Hold on.
All right, Corey.
We'll get started with Sean Coleman.
Got it.
Ja tonight, early in the fourth quarter, creating offense from the defense. The energy was there. The effort was there. Just for the entire game, you talk about playing the full 48 minutes. When the effort and energy is there, the difference is made. Getting back to that on Wednesday night seems to be, of the highest priority.
Yeah, it's that simple. Proud of our fight tonight. Play against a very hard playing team. Early in the game, I felt like they beat us to the 50-50 balls, kind of outplayed us, and that's what got them to that big lead. But we continued to fight throughout the game, was able to come back and regain the league, and then to a game of runs. They went on the run late to secure the win. So just got to be better, in all areas of the game. I have to be better as a player. We're like 7 for 21 from the field. In a game like this, it's very unacceptable for me. So just got to, continue to be better.
Drew Hill.
Ja, when Dylan got his last foul with like 6 minutes to go there, what did that change for you guys? It felt like he was doing a pretty good job on Steph up to that point.
It didn't change nothing. Our message to him was just, to continue to stay locked in and, help our team and, any way he could with his voice on the sideline. And, just, some miscommunication, late in the game. They got some open looks and knocked down threes, which you can't do, with this team. So credit to them for making us pay, for our mistakes.
Teresa Walker.
Ja, how much will it help having a couple of days off here before the play-in game against the Spurs on Wednesday night to maybe get some legs back?
My legs here. I just had 2 days off, so I'm fine. I could play tomorrow. As far as my other teammates, I can't speak for them. It is a positive, to have multiple days off. With us not, really having that much days in between the games since the break. So hopefully, we all come out fresh and be ready to go get a win, on our home floor, and look to see, who we face after. We just got to, take it one day, one game at a time.
Corey Harrison.
Hey, how you doing, Ja?
What's up?
So, going into the play-in situation, what are some of the positives you see from the team and heading into the play-in? What are some of the things like the area opportunity the team can work on going into that situation?
I'm just proud of our fight. No matter what's thrown at us, what's going on in the game, we continue to play hard. That's I feel like that's plays a big factor in the game. Whether we're struggling on offense, continue to fight on the defensive end to let that fuel our offense to get us going, or whatever it is. We just got to continue to play like that and keep being unselfish and play our style of basketball.
Evan Barnes.
Ja, you guys were in this situation now last year, obviously, with Portland, obviously a total different experience with this playing tournament. Just at this point now, do you feel like the experience of kind of playing in these games now just kind of adds to more urgency with Wednesday coming up being pretty much winter, the season's over?
We can't put too much pressure, on ourselves, with that. Obviously, we know what's at stake. Got to be ready. Our goal is to win, so we're not even thinking of, losing that game for our season to end. We're looking to win the game and look forward to whoever we play next.
Clayton Collier.
And Ja, going off of that, just obviously after the loss for Portland last year, no immediate chance at redemption. You have it this time around where you're going into the play-in tournament. I mean, does that add any extra fire, any fuel for you going into this one?
We really don't care who we face. We're trying to beat any team, who's on the same court as us.
Thanks, Joe. We appreciate it.
Got me pretty good.
We'll have Jonas Valanciunas with us here next.
So that was Ja Morant. I mean, obviously you could just tell, they competed the best they possibly do with this team, and it's really tough. So we got Jonas Valanciunas, but I think what we're gonna do.
All right, we'll get started with Joe Mullinax.
Hey, Jonas, obviously a major game from you offensively and in terms of rebounding. But at the same time, you did a pretty remarkable job defensively as well. At least your teammates said that you were a part of that game plan. Of course, Dylan Brooks, in fact, said that you can't defend Steph Curry, for example, with just one guy. There's rotations that go on, different matchups. So if you would talk about the defensive game plan for Curry and how you kind of fit into that as that big rim protector down low.
He's really hard to guard. Even unguardable, you saw what kind of shots he made. It's tough to guard, tough to keep up with him. He's constantly moving without a ball. He has great passers who can find him. So it's tough. But we did pretty good job. He made some tough ones, but we stopped a couple easy ones. So was not enough. I don't know what to say. It was a tough game.
Mark Giannotto.
Hey, Jonas, you're obviously one of the older guys on this team and one of the few who's actually been in playoff series before. I'm curious, now that you've been through the last year with this team in the bubble and now here down the stretch in this game today, what do you think separating you guys in terms of getting over the hump as you look to Wednesday and this playing game and these sort of high-stakes games?
Well, nothing lost yet. We in a good position. We obviously wanted to win today, but we still have a good shot on Wednesday. We're gonna be ready. Now we got 2 days to prepare for San Antonio, and now it's gonna be decided on Wednesday.
Drew Hill.
Yeah, Jonas, what do you remember about the games you played against San Antonio earlier this season? What can you tell us about that matchup individually?
They're a good team. They changed. Some guys rotated, but they're a good team. They're playing hard. They're a young team, hard playing. As I said, it's gonna be tough matchup for us, but we're gonna come ready.
I had to remove them real quick because we got the chef up at the podium with the Warriors. So we gotta get to the chef, y'all. We gotta get to the chef. Chef Curry is up.
Obviously happy, those last few went in and we opened the game up. You start to look at the body of work throughout the course of the game, and you miss some easy ones, and those are the ones you remember a little bit more, which is kind of natural, like striving for perfection in that respect. So obviously I'm proud of the way that we all played, and glad we got the win. And there were some big moments out there, but that's always the first instinct is how can you play better.
You took a career high in threes tonight, or a career high in shot attempts tonight. Did it feel like that to you, that you were up towards 36?
Yes and no. I didn't. I don't know what the number was before that, but I felt like second and third quarters, mostly third, like I got a lot of good looks. Coming off of DHOs, coming off of back cuts, getting in the paint, and they kind of came in waves. So that was an interesting kind of dynamic because I do kind of understand where I'm at when it comes to when I'm being, uber aggressive, getting, looks, kind of what that number is, especially with how many possessions we have. And obviously in the fourth quarter, it was go time. So at that point, you don't think about it. You just let it fly and don't second guess any shot in a game like this when we need to win. So, like I said, I'm glad a couple of those down the stretch went in.
Hey, Steph, Corey from the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. How you doing today, man? With all the adversity the team faced this season, what is the main takeaways you could share with us about this group?
Myself and Draymond, we've been around for a while and have seen a little bit of everything. And the patience and the perseverance through this season with, a lot of new faces, a lot of young guys, a lot of injuries, a lot of different rotations, different lineups. I'm proud of the way that we've led this charge and set a standard of, what winning basketball is, but also, the understanding that it looks totally different than it used to. But at the end of the day, when games like these come around, that we're prepared for it. And I hope that hopefully that confidence is contagious amongst the other guys. And they've played amazing, especially down the stretch. Our short rotation that we've had, everybody stepped up. Everybody's understood how they can impact the game on both ends of the floor. And everybody has created that edge of, you don't want to mess with us out there. So I love that because it was a little bleak, February, March, where we didn't know what type of team we were going to be, and we were really struggling to find our identity. So, we're in a good spot right now. We obviously know there's a lot of work to do, and no matter how the season goes, I'm really proud of the way that we've given ourselves a chance to make this season matter, and giving ourselves to play games that matter, and that's big.
You kind of joked in the preseason. You sort of joked about maybe playing till your late 30s or maybe even pushing 40. You're the oldest scoring champion since Jordan did it at age 35 in 1998, and you're playing your best basketball. I mean, what does that mean to you to win that scoring title at 33 and just the way that this group has supported you?
Well, the first thing I told the guys in the locker room, like, no matter what anybody says, I appreciate what they've all brought to the, this season because, like I said, it wasn't pretty and it wasn't a steady climb at all, even to get to this spot. But I appreciate everybody out there committing to how we play, and that's really unlocked what I do best, and try to help myself and help everybody else, especially on the offense end of the floor. So. That was huge, but, God is good. I've been blessed to be back healthy and be able to just play, night in, night out at a high level. And, the work that goes into it, it pays off. And it's something that I really, really rely on, especially at this point in my career, as the years go on. That is the difference maker for me. And nobody really sees it on a day-to-day. But I'm really proud of, what I put into it and the team who they know who they are that helped me and push me and motivate me. So I'm going to keep doing that until I can't anymore. I don't know how long that'll be, but that's a difference maker for me. And I really value that work.
Steph, after big shots or timeouts, you let out a lot of emotion out there. You even pulled up your shirt once at a timeout. Was that the culmination of everything, this stretch run, this regular season run just coming out?
It's a little bit of everything. Like I said, it's a different vibe when the game has consequences and means something. and especially in those moments, it is nice to have some sort of an atmosphere in terms of a home court advantage with fans in the building going crazy. It was loud in there for how many people were in there, and we've missed that for a very, very long time. So, we've had some moments early in the season where we had big comebacks, and you look up in the stands, there's nobody up there, and you don't really – it's like kind of awkward. You don't know what to do. So, like, nights like tonight, that's what we play for, to get the fans involved and appreciate that love and that energy. And shout out to Baron Davis. I definitely channeled my Karolinko moment. I ain't dunk on nobody, but I wanted to channel the same celebration. So shout out to BD.
Hey, Steph, how did the intensity and emotion of this game do you think is going to prepare you guys moving forward?
This is a good experience for guys who haven't been in a playoff type atmosphere, to understand how important every possession is, and especially how the fourth quarter went, where we had 15-point lead, I think, or something, and then they take it was 17, and then they take a 2-point lead, and then we bounce back. So if we're really going to be critical about ourselves, we got to look at that first 6 to 8 minutes to understand you don't want to be in a position where you have to win the game twice. But I like the way that we responded and how you deal with the nerves and the adrenaline and the crazy swings is it's a great experience, and those reps matter. So whatever happens, Wednesday, hopefully not Friday, that we'll be ready for for what's coming at us.
Hey, Steph, William Hammond, Sports Fans Rep. Not much is said about Steve and his coaching ability through this year. It's a younger group. What have you seen different, and how has he prepared you guys for this moment right now, moving into the playoffs? And then how different is it from playoff appearances in the past? The prep.
The prep's the same, but you just got to adapt to the task at hand right now, and obviously our rotations and lineups are different. The cast of characters is different than the last 5 years, but again, that experience that we've had, it comes back. There's been a lot of commentary throughout the year about us as a team, him as a coach, where we are, what we're trying to do, where we're building, towards, and all that. And it feels like 4 seasons in one. In terms of all the different narratives and situations that we found ourselves in. But now, we have 2 games to get into a playoff series, and that experience that we've had should come out in terms of, again, me and Draymond being able to be the extension of him on the court and help lead guys to another level.
Hey, Steph,
what was behind the decision to guard jamorant in your first game against him from the outset? Sorry, Mark.
All good, man.
Just the matchup. I mean, I guard point guards from time to time, Marcus.
This was a unique time, though. You hadn't guarded him before. Yeah, because you hadn't played him before. No, because you hadn't played him before, and you didn't get the feel for him.
Well, you can't get a feel for somebody until you play them, so might as well. I was locked in.
That was my next question. Did it have something to do with the commentary heading into the game, dating back to last year?
I see everything, so I love to have some fun with it, brother.
Hey, Steph, good to see you. In light of a possible matchup with the Lakers, what does your rivalry with LeBron mean to you, and how do you think that shaped just your journey, given how many times you crossed paths in the finals?
It's we're obviously any team he's been on, and those matchups where our careers are connected because we played at the highest level. And if we do play on Wednesday, it'll be a different scenario, but another chapter in it. But at the end of the day, you expect greatness, and that's the part I've enjoyed so much about playing in finals against him, against those Cleveland teams, and those games that matter, it just brings out another level of intensity and excitement and a sense of urgency about it, because you know how good, you have to play in order to win games like that. So if it happens on Wednesday, it's the same kind of scenario with just a different situation with the play-in type situation.
Let's go for one more. Monty, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Steph, the 6-0 finish, how much of it was, I guess, built around your defense? And also, I want to know your reaction to your block shot on the big man.
Thank God for timing, because I don't know how high I got off the ground. I felt like I was up at the rim, but I know I wasn't. But thankfully, he didn't see me, so he couldn't react. The homestand was huge for us. We were looking forward to it for that whole the long road trips that we had, and just the condensed nature of that schedule. We were just trying to get through to get home and know we had a good opportunity to finish the season strong. Taking care of OKC, then obviously Phoenix and Utah. That was a big back-to-back stretch, and that was just gutsy. Defensive toughness and what Draymond brings from us. He lit a fire just with his presence and his voice going into those two games, and then obviously tonight, knowing there's something about those games that you just feel like have a different nature to them, and they matter that we've missed. We haven't been in that position in almost 2 years, so brought out a different side of us that we love. And defensively, obviously, like you say, that's how you win games. And even like a night like tonight where you give up a huge lead like that, you buckle down and get 3 or 4 stops down the stretch, and the game opens back up. So we got to find a way to do that, these next couple games in a playoff series and take it from there.
Hey, Steph, this is Corey from the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. What are some of the positives?
That's just that Steph is done for tonight. We'll have a couple more players up here shortly.
All right, they say Steph done, so we're gonna. So, what do you think about Steph, man? What do you think about some of his comments to the game? I think you're on mute. Go ahead.
Steph made some pretty good points, man. Made some great points, actually, with him and Draymond being the two most experienced guys on that roster. It's kind of their, like he said, their extension of Coach Kerr. So it's kind of their duty to lead the younger guys and help them to get through. I mean, like he said, that road trip they was on, and they was like, okay, if we could get home, we could finish this out. So I mean, we'll stay there. So I mean, next week we'll tell it all. We'll see what they can do, what they can put together.
And they might potentially play the Lakers. Like, how do you feel about that series?
Man, I honestly think the Warriors are, in my opinion, I think they're too small. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I just think they're too small. And the Lakers have enough defenders to kind of throw at Steph to kind of, not necessarily stop them, but to make it tough on them. But
they also can scare the hell out of the Lakers too.
You said what?
They say they can scare the hell out of the Lakers too.
I mean, they can, but
that's a factor.
I think Steph is gonna have a huge game. Like he had 46 tonight, so he's gonna have to stay in that range to make it tough on the Lakers.
Yeah. If they had Clay, that'd have been a different ball game, though, right?
Exactly. That'd be, you kind of, then you'll have a kind of like a three-headed monster with him and Wiggs and Steph. But I mean, we'll see, man. I think the Lakers, the playoff Lakers are, they're different, man. Them dudes are different. I mean, people can talk about the Lakers being the 7th seed in the play-in or whatever, but it's still LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they got a supporting cast, So come on, man. We'll see. It'll be a good matchup, though.
Is this a matchup that you got checked off?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this one. I'm ready for this one.
Okay, before we leave for the day, what is your finals prediction, and what is the results?
My finals prediction, man, dude, I'm gonna have to go. I'm about to go Nets Lakers, man.
And who wins that matchup, and why?
God, man, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm about to go with the Nets, bro. I'm about to take the Nets.
And what is the biggest component? What is the Lakers like? Okay, so in that series, okay, we already know the cast, we already know who's involved. What are the Lakers gonna have to do to neutralize that three-headed monster?
Use their size. Their bigs. Use their bigs. They're gonna have to. I mean, you can't go bucket for bucket with those guys. They're gonna run you out the gym. So you gotta use your size as much as possible. I mean, Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant they're offensive nightmares. So you're gonna have to, use your size. You're a big man. LeBron is gonna have to be LeBron plus more. You know what I'm saying? Because they all this is really because of him. They loaded up to beat this guy, a 36-year-old. You know what I'm saying? If we're speaking facts, it is what it is.
Right.
But I mean, like, hopefully, if the Lakers are healthy, I think they got a good chance to at least make it a pretty interesting series.
Who's gonna hold KD?
Who's gonna hold KD? Hopefully it's LeBron James. That's the only name that should come to your mind if we're talking about Kevin Durant. Somebody older Kevin Durant. If it's not LeBron James,
absolutely,
it's a done deal. It has to be LeBron James.
Okay, then you got Kyrie over there. You think Schroeder can?
you said, do I think Schroeder can hold Kyrie?
Yeah,
I think he can do a good job on him. Schroeder's not no slouch. He's
no,
also he's not no pushover either. So I think he can at least make it tough for Kyrie and frustrate him a little bit. Schroeder he's a pest, man. Believe it or not, he's irritating. And actually he's strong up top, so he's not nobody you just gonna easily push around or Schroeder's gonna make you work.
But the Nets been running James Harden at the point.
Oh, that's fine. It don't. I mean, that's why you got other bodies. You got KCP, Wes Matthews, Caruso is a pest. I mean, Kuzma is a big body. You just want. As long as you got the bodies, man, you have the bodies. I think you'll be fine.
Lakers got the depth, and the Nets don't. The Nets don't really have depth like that.
They don't, but I think if them like their big three, if they get rolling, I think the other guys can feed off that, man. It can be a hell of a fire, man, in that damn gym.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm definitely waiting on it. I can't wait to see how the chips fall. That's gonna do it for today, Chris. I want to thank you for stopping by the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. We definitely got to come back and do another one. You provide so much great insight into these games, and I always love listening to your basketball intellect. When we're talking about basketball and hoops and things like that. We got to get you on the next one. Can we expect you to be on the next Out of Bounds Sports Podcast post-game edition?
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. You have a good one, man. Thank you for stopping by. We got to get you on the next one, man.
For sure. Let's do it.
All right, man. And that's going to do it for us today. Thank you again for listening, and we are out.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.